what an experience. I mean, to like work
Honestly.
with guys like Michael, Tim, Jack, Kim, and all the cast and crew, and have the musicians behind the film. I mean, you've like not everybody, like an actor, performer, a crew member, gets to be a part of something that has a legacy like this and have it live on for so many years. I mean, this is something like an Oscar can't even compare to, because this is
Well,
something that's just like stamped with you forever.
yeah, I mean, it's priceless, Colin. I think what really does it for me is that I you're not going to believe this, but after the movie, and I got out there again, and I was beyond boosted from this experience. But I was going to meet casting directors, and they were not believing me because at that time this was like the movie, wasn't it? It had surpassed, I think, Star
Hmm.
Wars or Indiana, or the actual takings from it were phenomenal. But this is no word of a lie. I was going to meet other directors, and I met Danny Cannon because I went up for a part on Judge Dredd, and
Oh,
a lot of the time they were not believing me. I wasn't portraying it or pushing it down their throats to say, no, look, I just said, look, I've been very fortunate. I've been working on the Batman. I was doing some movement double for Michael, and but they honestly they looked at me gone out because it was that timing. I think with the hype and everything else, they just didn't seem to believe what I was saying. So there was a lot of, if you like, say bad luck, but not the
no.
right timing sometimes, or the opportunities didn't arise. And I
Mm.
went up for initially a cameo for Eyes Wide Shut, the Kubrick film with Cruise and
Okay.
Kidman, and then they were looking at me in a dance element as well, and they couldn't make their minds up. I think I had several visits, re-auditions, castings, and still couldn't make their mind up. And then I didn't get it. So there's all that. But you see, this just makes up for everything. And I always believe in life, it's quality over quantity. And
Absolutely.
you can
Both,
say
both, both
you've
work.
done 10 things, but my life has taken me in other directions, and I've loved that as well. So course, people have said, "Are you in the Flash?" And are you in this or are you in that? Of course, I'd love to say yes, but who knows? Who knows what might happen? It's what I've loved, and this is why I love this so much. Is that the fans and the people have enriched my life beyond no end. I'm not just saying that, but the things I've experienced in this last chapter, if you like, or this chapter is mind blowing. The kindness and just the joy and the enthusiasm, and I'm just beyond words. It's mind blowing to me. It's touched me so closely, what people have said, and because there's a lot of knocking in the industry and a lot of putting down
Oh, yeah. We talked about the nitpicking on the movie, like with the
nitpicking, all
little
of that.
special effects, but Jaws or Raiders of the Lost Ark is a masterpiece. There's nothing wrong with them. But
No,
Batman
no,
89, that's still right up there. I
it
mean, that's
is,
why
and
we
it
got fans, because we
yes,
keep
it
it
is.
alive.
And why should we change from that? It's like saying that, you know, if you like Dracula, for me, you'll always look at Christopher Lee as being one of the most amazing Draculas.
Yes.
The Hammer House. It's
Hmm.
and we think of how the horror movies have progressed, and you still can't say that some of the earlier stuff is bad. I mean, I think Hitchcock was one of the most frightening movies, the suspense. I mean, Psycho. When I first saw Psycho, it just really frightened me, because of that. It's all the cerebral, isn't it? All the thought of how he was Norman Bates with his mum, and all of that going on, and that's how Hitchcock was so clever, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever put those movies aside and say, well, this is better, or You know what I mean? I think we have to look at those as being standalones, don't we? I think
Yes.
89 should be a standalone that has been the gold standard of movies. Yeah, there won't be anything like it again. That's the reality.
Oh no,
No.
we saw that with the sequel. It didn't even
Yeah,
compare. I mean, like Anton
Yeah.
first art to the set wasn't there. I mean, yeah, we had
no,
some elements like Michael and like Pat Hingle, Michael Goff came back as Commissioner Gordon and Alfred. The Batmobile was pretty much the same, but Danny Elfman's music. But it was kind of like some ingredients mixed with something new,
yes,
is what it
that's
felt
right.
like.
Case
Not
of
that it was
sequelitis, you know.
and not that it was horrible, but it just like it I think it lacked an entertainment value. I mean,
I do as well.
structurally it's very good and
Yes,
artistically it's very beautiful, but like it
yes,
doesn't have that triumphant ending like Batman 89 has, or that
that's right.
good versus
Yes,
evil save
yes,
the girl sort of feel. Like it's a classic tale just told in a comic book version that created this fantasy world, which is what a movie
Mm.
should do. You got
yes.
costumes, music, sets, terrific performances, sound effects. I mean, this movie has everything. So to
It
like
does.
nitpick and just be like, well, that animation scene at the beginning is like, yeah. Or the Batmobile when the shields go on, it looks so dated. It's like, listen.
Oh, come on, come on. Yeah,
You work with what you had back then. I mean, it
that's
was
right.
special at the time. So,
Yes. You see, and it just shows you with the budget that they had on returns was obviously far more in the pot than they had. But again, you see, we there's been confusion over there was only really one costume based on Michael's sculpt. There was like in Returns there was one made for Dave Lee as well as Michael, but we never had that luxury. We just had the one suit that was taken off Michael, which was fair. Um, I think we did admirably with what the budget was, and what was achieved by it. Just shows you that sometimes you can have more money, but you can be wasting it, can't you? Not
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
utilizing it the right way. So that's interesting its own way.